So this is an introduction to the ballpoint game, and this is actually one of my favourite games and activities when I'm teaching people Scrum and Agile methodologies from scratch. And that's because it's very simple, it's very physically active, so that helps you remember. And it also gives you a summary kind of view in order that you have a solid foundation conceptually upon which you can then build on. So this is the real life version of the ballpoint game. You will find two versions in this course. One is for remote teams and one is for people in physical in-person settings. So I hope that you're masked up and that you have your hand sanitizer at the ready and plenty of fresh air circulating in order that you don't catch coronavirus. But essentially, these are the rules. So the rules are that everyone is part of one big team. The start point is the end point. Each ball must have airtime. Each ball must return to the same person who introduced it into the system. So you'll need to think about that when you set up your physical team space. Balls cannot be passed directly to your neighbour or to your immediate left or right. So they must have air time. So you actually do have to throw them somehow. There are a total of 5 iterations. So the goal is the maximum number of balls with the highest score for the final iteration. And I would suggest that you take 2 to 3 minutes now to reread these rules and really absorb them before we actually get stuck into the game. So now it's time to get active and actually play the game. So you'll have 2 minutes per iteration, so that's each round of activity when you're actually playing the game. After that 2 minutes is finished, you will have 3 minutes to discuss how to improve for next time and get more balls to pass through the team. You will run that game 5 times, so 2 minutes times 5. And then each time you'll write up your score on a whiteboard. So you need to ensure that someone is counting how many balls you passed through the team. Now you may want to take a minute to reread that and maybe take a minute to discuss it as a group. You can either set up your own stopwatch or you can use the one in this video. That's up to you. But I will start the timer now. So now you will have 3 minutes to discuss how to improve for the next iteration and write up your score on the board. So you'll have 3 minutes starting from now. So, time for a recap. So, what problems did you encounter? What made you improve over the 5 iterations, do you think? And what would have happened if the time box wasn't there? Who made the actual final design decisions with the team, like how the team was set up and how you processed the number of balls? Or was there a change in team dynamic at some point? Was somebody trying to dominate? So the normal things are to try and overrun the time box and to panic when the time box starts. There's also often a dynamic in terms of 1 or 2 people trying to dominate, and that can, in fact, sometimes even cause some conflict. But what you should have experienced was that you had been able to make an improvement, and that at some point, probably around the 3rd or 4th iteration, you got to a point where, as a group, you realised that you had maybe flatlined in your results and that you needed to make some kind of focused change in order to really improve for the last iteration. That would be a normal team experience in this game. So now I'm going to let you take a couple of minutes pause, grab a coffee, and I'll see you in the next lesson.